Hi everyone, so this is my the second episode of the Dodgers franchise 2019. I've been keeping up to this day to day, so a lot of the stats in my franchise, a lot of the standings, the record, the Dodgers record is exact, 69-38 as of Monday. Right now in MLB, in the show rankings, top prospects, Keibert Ruiz, catcher, who's really regarded as a really great deceiver. Really great receiver. He frames really well, calls a good game. He's an overall really great defensive catcher. Now the thing is, can he hit? And well, he walks a lot more than he strikes out. So that, I mean, we've always said he's had a good eye. He has a good bat to ball skills. He has a good feel for that. For the strike zone, but I mean AA and AAA, he was walking a lot more than striking out, so that's something. Now he isn't hitting a whole lot. He has an OPS under the 700s in the minor leagues, but I mean, he's a good defensive catcher. Now, do I see him as a big piece in the future? You never know. But as of right now, here's my philosophy. You can't hit in the minor leagues. How are you going to hit big league pitching? We can trade this guy for like Felipe Vasquez or Noah Syndergaard. I'd say by all means do it. And those are the only two I would consider trading him for. He is a top prospect. He has been for a long time, so there is something to say about that. The only question is he going to be more? He's been getting comparisons all throughout the last couple of seasons. One big one I've heard is Victor Martinez. Now, he was a really good catcher. Early on, he was really good defensively, but he was a monster offensively. So is he going to be more Victor Martinez, or is he going to be more Francisco Mejia? Francisco Mejia is another guy who was like rated for his discipline. He had a 51-game hitting streak in the minors, I believe. And he was regarded as a top prospect in the Cleveland organization, so top that they gave him up straight up for Brad Hand and Adam Simber. And he hasn't really panned out. So, I mean, it's been a small sample size, but he hasn't hit in the big leagues so far at all. Gavin Lux, number 27. Of course, he's number 10 overall prospect according to MLB.com. In the latest updates, and Lux, man, that kid can rake. His debut season, he wasn't good. Not gonna lie, but he's been raking. He's been improving ever since. He strikes out a bit, but I mean, so does everyone. This is a left-handed middle of the diamond impact bat, and I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it was a September call-up. If this were any other team, I believe Lux would be up by now. The Dodgers, they're well-balanced throughout the lineup, and their second baseman and catchers are so great defensively that they can afford to have a little less production from those spots if the defense can more than make up for it, which it has, or it had so far until, they called down Barnes and called up Smith, which I mean, it was coming. I didn't think they were actually going to they were going to send down Barnes because he's been so good with the pitching stuff. But I mean, now I guess Smith now has like 2 months to learn the pitching stuff, so that's great. It's great news. He can rake, obviously, and he's gonna strike out a bit, but he's gonna have a lot of hard contact, and that's what produces. And he's really great defensively. Now it's just about learning a pitching staff that includes like 3 potential Cy Young Award winners. 3 All-Stars for sure. I mean, and they call it Dustin May, who right there is ranked 30th among the top prospects in the show. May's a kid. 2 kids working in the playoffs, that's not going to fly. They're not going to call it May right now, so it's not going to be an issue. But I think if we were to get to that point, Martin would be catching May every start. Kind of like what they did with Buehler last season. It was mostly Grandal, especially in the World Series, and Buehler gave him 7 shutout innings in the World Series, so there's something to say about that veteran defense. Honestly, this is the best compiled club that I've had the privilege to watch ever. I haven't been on this earth that long, but I mean, this club is legit. This club is the Houston Astros of 2017. Or the Red Sox of 2018. Bullpen sucks. Well, bullpen's better than most people perceive. But, I mean, they're just not getting it done when it matters. According to win probability added with WPA, they're like 25th in all of baseball. The bullpen is. So, yeah, that thing needs to be fixed. But, I mean, I just want to take a moment to just stop and admire what the Dodgers are doing. The Dodgers organization is a top-notch organization. Okay, so remember when I got Craig Kimbrell from the Rays? Oh, no, you don't, because I never showed that. But anyway, I got Kimbrell. I traded away Andrew Toles because he wasn't going to be used on the roster anymore. I think I traded like a reliever or something who was giving up money. Yeah, I traded Yasiel Sierra, who cost like $5 million. We've never used him ever. So yeah, I traded him, got Kimbrell because I'm going to trade him to the Cubs for prospects, and I did. Dwayne Underwood, who has elite velocity, a C-rated potential, but I mean, he has a 97 velocity, a decent break. And then Braylon Marquez, who's a left-hander with good stuff as well. And best of all, he's an A potential player. So like if I can use him to get like a guy like Syndergaard or Vasquez, or maybe just keep him, he's an A player. So now I'm gonna take a look at some trade candidates. Now, Dodgers, it's no secret that they need bullpen help. Now, Will Smith, that's a possibility, and that's the guy who I think the Dodgers should really go for, because he's a rental. He's not going to cost as much, and because he's been flat out dominant. He's been right up there with Hader and Yates as most dominant relief pitchers this season. I don't know how, but the advanced metrics really like him. At least expected WOBA does, filling independent pitching does, DRA. Even his actual WOBA right now is still top, like, I don't know, top 10 in the big leagues right now. But I mean, Smith allows a lot of hard contact. He's given up his fair share of home runs, and his stuff isn't as overpowering. His breaking ball doesn't spin as much. His fastball doesn't either, and he doesn't have elite velocity. His fastball sits more in the 93 mile per hour range. His best pitch, though, has been the cutter. And honestly, he's the guy who dominates left-handed pitching. So, and he's not going to cost much because he's a rental. I mean, there is the whole thing that Farhan knows the farm system, so that might play into that. But I mean, if Smith is out there, they should get him. The only question is he really? Because right now it looks like the Giants, for some reason, I don't know why, they're not selling. And they need, I think, one more right-handed elite pitcher. Joe Kelly was supposed to be the guy, but I mean, he's not. Hasn't been really. He's been better of late. I don't want to take the chance. If you can get someone like Kirby Yates or Edwin Diaz, why not? If you get Joe Kelly right, that's just a plus. Now, Edwin Diaz, he's not having a great season. Part of that is the Mets curse, which is he's been on a horribly defensive team. Part of it, I think, is he's playing in New York when he previously had been in Seattle. New York, of course, is a really big market. What I think his big problem is he's been allowing a lot of home runs, a lot more than last season. And I don't care where you're pitching, if it's Dodger Stadium, if it's Coors, if it's Citi Field, home runs are bad if you're a pitcher. If you gave up home runs, that's on you, man. And he has. Aside from the Mets defense, his batting average on balls in play is 400. Now, that's absurd. That just shows how bad the Mets are. I mean, they're awful. Why? Just why? But yeah, so Diaz, well, we all know his slider is wicked. I mean, it's just freaking amazing. The thing is, he hasn't been really able to command it this season like he did last season. And so he's been getting hit a lot more. And part of that result is he's having less confidence in that pitch. He's throwing the fastball more. And while his fastball still has that elite spin and velocity, one of the top velocities in all baseball, it's going to get hit around more because basically he's become a one-pitch pitcher. Batters know it's coming, and while it's still one of the most elite pitches in all baseball, they know it's coming, so they're going to be able to time and hit it. So that's one of the three main struggles to Diaz's season. But I mean, if you can get him to LA, if you can get him to Rick Honeycutt and an analytics-driven team, and of course a better defense, there's no reason to believe that Diaz is not going to be the same guy that he was in 2018. Now, the thing is, he hasn't produced. He has an ERA almost in the 5s. So those surface numbers should indicate that his value isn't that high, that he shouldn't command that plethora of top prospects. But the Mets are the Mets, and because Brody Van, whatever his name is, doesn't want to admit defeat, he's going to want top prospects for a guy that he gave up 2 top prospects and their best prospect for last season. He's going to want something similar to that. Kind of like the Pirates. The Pirates organization are a joke too. So are the Angels. Here's what I say to the Mets asking price. I'm not giving up the Ruiz for that. Sure as hell not. I'm not giving up Lux or May. And then Smith, obviously, now he's untouchable. He's on the Major League roster. Freeman doesn't trade from the Major League roster usually. And Smith is their catch for the future. So right now, Ruiz is expendable, but I wouldn't trade him for Edwin Diaz straight up. Now, if you throw in Thor, if you throw in Noah Syndergaard to package along with Diaz, I would give up Ruiz for that. Would I give up Lux? Hell no. I wouldn't give up Lux for Max Scherzer. Would I give him up for Mike Trout? Yeah, probably. I'm not too inclined to give up May, but if it were to Noah Syndergaard, if it were to come down to, it's when's the trade deadline end? 1 p.m. Pacific. If it were to come down to 12:59 p.m. and I'm like, okay, I want Syndergaard, we gave you Ruiz, we gave you Gonsolin or Stripling, we gave you Peters. I don't know, I'm hesitant to trade Peters, but if that's what it takes. We gave you Jeter Downs, Josiah Gray. If they don't take Josiah Gray for Syndergaard, that's it. Then they're trying to kill our farm system. If it comes down to that, something like that, a scenario like that, and May's the last piece, I would reluctantly give him up. If it includes Syndergaard and Diaz, and maybe possibly Seth Lugo, who has elite spin. He's a really underrated reliever, and Expected Woba has him as one of the top relievers as well. Really, definitely above average reliever, which is what we need. But yeah, Thor is a guy that I'm big on. I mean, this guy, again, a curse of the Mets. He hasn't been good this season because he's been hurt by a bad defense. And what I believe the problem with Syndergaard is that he uses his sinker too much, and that pitch is not what it once was. And in this home run era, you leave that pitch up, it's not going to do much. So it's not going to end up well for you as a pitcher. So what he should do is throw that four seam up in the zone more and that slider more. He comes to the Dodgers, that's what's going to happen. He's going to be one of the top 5 pitchers again in baseball. Top 10 pitchers again in baseball. He never was a top 5 pitcher. He could be a top 5 pitcher if he comes to the Dodgers, kind of similar to Garrett Cole. Because Garrett Cole, he had a good rookie season. He had a breakout season in 2015, and then after that, it wasn't really so great because he stuck to that sinker. Last half of 2015 is really when the home run revolution began. You leave sinkers up in the zone, they're gonna get hit a long way. Cole stuck to that. He wasn't that great of a pitcher from 16 to 17. He came to the Houston Astros, four seamers up, sliders went away. Hey, guess what? He's a top 5 consensus pitcher in all of baseball. Syndergaard is the guy they should go get. Syndergaard is the guy they plug in with Ryu, Buehler, or Kershaw. They have a top 4 and they can now easily move Maeda and Hale if he comes back to the bullpen without any hesitation, without any worries. And maybe they can even use Syndergaard in the bullpen as well, kind of like they did with Price and Eovaldi last season, the Red Sox did. And Syndergaard's just made for the bright lights. I mean, he's already pitching in a big market that is New York, and the largest market in the world. He's pitched in the World Series, he's pitched in the playoffs, and he's been great seemingly each and every time. Remember, he pitched 6 innings, a 3-run ball, less than that against Kansas City Royals, a heavy contact team in the Kansas City Royals in the World Series. He can pitch. This guy can pitch in the big moments. That's why we need a guy like him. You can never have enough pitching. I don't care what you all say. Syndergaard is a must-have for the Dodgers. But I'm not giving up Lux for him. I'm not giving up Lux for anyone. I just want to make that clear. I'm not giving him up for the next guy on my list, left-hander Felipe Vasquez. Now the Pirates again. You think the Mets organization is bad? Ha ha ha! Look at the Pirates. Traded Tyler Glasnow and Austin Meadows because their development system is crap. They couldn't figure out what to do with them, so they traded him away for Chris Archer, who has home run issues. The curse of the Pirates then now, right? Stroman isn't going to be that good. Just to say that. Now if they were to trade him to the Dodgers, now that's another guy who they can utilize his elite spin and velocity. But he's not coming to the Dodgers because the Mets are stupid. What? Who said that? But anyway, so the Pirates are going to want to atone for giving up Tyler Glasnow and Austin Meadows. And so that's why they're asking for Lux, May, and Ruiz. I would give up Ruiz for Vasquez straight up. I wouldn't give up much more after that. Because, okay, so the Pirates are making the argument that Felipe Vasquez is a controllable reliever till 2023, basically. I mean, relievers, as I said, as I started off this episode with, relievers are the most fickle position in all of baseball. They don't pitch that often. They have great stuff, sure. They're Edwin Diaz 2018 one season, and then they're, I don't know, who's the worst pitcher you can think of. They're Chris Archer the next season. They have relievers. You can never trust relievers. I don't care who you have. There's been a shutdown reliever in baseball since Mariano Rivera and Trevor Hoffman, basically. Those were the guys you could count on for 2 decades. Each and every season, you knew they were going to shut down that 9th inning, possibly an 8th, pitched multiple innings. Because when you pitch multiple innings, you get in a rhythm, you know? You can't be pitching just 1 inning at a time and hope to maintain that consistency for years to come. It just doesn't happen. That's why Kenley Jansen is digressing right now. Aroldis Chapman might be the exception. He's been elite. He's had some hiccups every now and then these last few years, but I mean, he's still a guy you trust. His his velocity is declining, but I mean, it was at 103 average. Now it's 99 point whatever. So Aroldis Chapman, I think, is that one guy who might be that lockdown closer for the next decade or so, who might have a shot at Cooperstown. Kenley Jansen, I don't know about him now. I'm iffy about it. I'm scared to shit every time he takes the ball in the ninth. I mean, I am. Kimbrough. He was downright horrible last season. So bad in the playoffs. So bad that he didn't get a contract until until like June after the draft. And I don't know how he got a 3-year contract. Oh, I know how, because Theo Epstein's trying to mess up the Cubs like he did the Red Sox when he left. Relievers are not to be trusted. Now, for one season, you get the hottest hand. Who's the hottest hand this season? Josh Hader. He's not available, obviously. Kirby Yates, Will Smith. These are the top 3 relievers in all baseball this season. Brad Hand has been really great. Felipe Vasquez has been more above average than elite this season, according to expected WOBA. And that's what I look at a lot when I'm evaluating pitchers like this. But I mean, I would still go after him. I would give up maybe one top prospect for a top reliever like that, like a Yates. And Yates has been he's been the second best reliever in all of baseball this season. Him, I would give up enough for. If you give him up to the Padres, he's only going to be hurting us. It's only going to hurt us in the future because 1, he's only under contract for 1 more season. 2, he's a reliever, like I said. 3, what if we give up a future star to the Padres? And the Padres are up and comers. They've been in the playoff hunt for they lasted pretty long this season, and next season I see him really being a top wildcard team. But again, Yates has been one of the league closers this season, elite reliever. We should go out and get him because he's been the hot hand. That's what I'm looking for, the hot hand. Who's been the hot hand? 2 other left-handers I'm going to name. Amir Garrett and Aaron Bummer. Who the hell is Aaron Bummer? Now, I'm sure you've heard of Garrett a little bit.
It's dugout. And now Garrett's on his way to the dugout, and here we go. Oh! Garrett goes in there punching. This is not a good scene at all.
Yeah. He's a big fastball slider changeup guy. Garrett is the guy that I want to get if we don't get Vasquez from the Pirates. If we don't, Garrett should be the guy because he's very similar to him in that he's got elite velocity. He's got great breaking stuff. Now the problem is he's under control for, I don't know, 5 more seasons? I don't know. He's under control for a while now. And the Reds, because they're so stupid, are treating him like an everyday player. Say, oh, you have him under control for these many seasons. You guys have to give us your top prospects now. That is so stupid. That's what they did with Jose Quintana, the White Sox did with Jose Quintana, the Cubs. Again, I kid you not, you think Epstein's trying to help the Cubs? Come on. He gave up Eloy Jimenez and Dylan Cease, among others, for a guy who has like a 4 ERA the last 3 seasons. But it shouldn't be about control. It should be about the top value. That's Syndergaard is top value. If you're gonna want to get the best, you're gonna have to pay for the best. You're gonna have to pay the best offer, you know. But it shouldn't be about getting more years of control. No, that's just stupid. If you want more years of control, sign him to a fucking extension. I didn't say that. I'm sorry, YouTube. So the last guy I want to talk about is Aaron Bummer. Now, Aaron Bummer, you have no idea who the hell he is. You have no idea if he's right or lefty. You have no idea where he plays. Well, he plays for the Chicago White Sox. He's a left-handed pitcher who gets left-handers out. And guess what? According to expected WOBA, he's been top 10 relievers in all of baseball this season. Boom. I want him. He's under control for like 2 more seasons, I believe. I'm not sure. But he does have some control to him. Bummer is a guy. So if the Dodgers don't get Hand, which they're not, and they don't get Smith, which they probably won't because the Giants are being stupid, and they get a guy like Vasquez, then they should get, to complement the high velocity, they should get a guy who's high spin, and that's Bummer. But Bummer's no slack in velocity either. His average fastball this season is 95 miles per hour, but he's been using the sinker ball a lot more, so he's a ground ball breaking ball pitcher, and he uses that to effectiveness. He's a deceptive pitcher. He has high spin on his slider, which he doesn't use as often. And White Sox defense, you got Moncada at second, Anderson at short. It's not as great. Brady at first is definitely not the answer. So if you send him over here to LA, that's definitely an upgrade over the White Sox. So come here to LA. They're going to utilize his slider more. They're going to use his velocity up in the zone, and he's still going to be able to use his sinker to get ground balls. He's going to be a really good piece, additional piece that no one really seems to be writing about. But Bummer is the guy that is a must-add for me. Look at this playoff roster. Hyunjin Ryu starts game 1. Walker Buehler starts game 2. Clayton Kershaw starts game 3. Noah Syndergaard starts game 4. Or Noah Syndergaard starts game 1, Ryu 2, Buehler 3, Kershaw 4. That is a killer top 4. Then you have Hill, Maeda in the bullpen. You got Kenley Jansen. Then you got Baez, who's been underrated this season. He's having a really good season. I have Julio too. So we have 3 or 4 pitchers left. Oh, what a coincidence. We added 3 or 4 pitchers, right? We added Diaz, Yates, Vasquez, and Bummer. Wow, that is awesome. If we don't get both Diaz and Yates, then we still have a guy like Kelly. If we didn't trade Stripling, we still have Stripling. And then we have Kike or Taylor, Smith, Martin. Barnes, I think, is going to end up in the playoff roster as a 3rd catcher. David Freese, Corey Seager, Max Muncy, Turner, Jock Peterson, AJ Pollock, Alex Verdugo. Am I forgetting anyone? Oh yeah, the MVP. And then maybe a guy like Lux is added to the roster. I don't know. If I were someone else, I wouldn't want to go up against that group. So anyway, that's my little thoughts about the Dodgers, about my franchise mode. I'm going to release another one next couple days. And if the Dodgers don't make the moves that I said, I'm going to make those moves, and then I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. I'm not going to go day to day anymore. I'm going to win this World Series. I'm going to win it for us, guys. Right? But no, I'm not going to need to, because we're going to win it this year. All right. Well, thank you very much. It's great to catch up, and have a good night.